It was actually Medusa. Both games they played. That's what I have written down.
I believe you.
I wouldn't believe me.
I feel like there was a highlight reel at the start there where I saw some Natsumi Tiny, but
Natsumi is interesting hero because like after I researched into him, the dude plays like we've seen him play Medusa so much, but he plays a lot of like weird heroes. He plays micro heroes. He likes Lycan. He likes Naga. He's played Nature's Prophet as a carry too, which is like doesn't fit this idea we're painting of them whatsoever. Like, oh my god, he just goes into triangle and farms the stacks, you know. But he's actually like quite versatile. He also plays heroes like Morphling, which like I mean it would be cool to see it because it would be a different style for them, but maybe I mean they have so much success with what they've currently been running. It would be kind of cool to keep running it until it fails. To add on, like Boom is a team that has dealt with things like this in the past, like Jackie literally on their team when he was on MTG, they were they dismantled them in the Mineski Masters in the finals. Was it that team? I feel like I definitely remember a team that just picked Wraith King and Medusa and they banned them both in the first phase and then just
Motivate
like,
Trust.
Yeah.
They were, and the grand final. I think it was a 3-2 grand final, so it wasn't like they completely stomped them, but by the end,
they
felt
adapted.
like they adapted and it seemed like they had them figured out by the end.
Alright, so I'm like kind of interested because when Polaris's current strategy is so upfront, it seems like something that they should be able to adapt to, especially with Coach Mushi. You know, I was sitting there, he's like, okay guys, I got it guys, it's all good. I'm hoping.
10 seconds
so the big thing for Boom this game is they haven't picked Yopaj as hero, but they have the overall last pick, so they're going to get the full info of the draft and can kind of work from there. Theoretically, like, well, maybe they're thinking they have picked Yopaj as hero because these bans are on Slaughter Legion, so maybe Polaris are expecting a mid hoodwink and something.
I've not seen Homie pick either of the heroes mid, but I would not be surprised if he took them.
Yeah, well, I mean, historically he was a mid Sanking player, so there was a period of time, and against the melee hero and Pengo, maybe they're going to bring back the Yopaj mid Sanking. I think this is kind of a polarizing one. Some people loved it, some hate it. He would get these like 6-7 minute blink dagger timings, like insanely fast, own his lane, but then often it wouldn't get them the win. Like he would go, like he'd pop off and then it'd fall off. Similar to like also his mid snapfire at times where it either worked out great or it kind of fell short.
Where do you sit with it if this were to go mid tanking?
I think it's okay. I think it's fine, particularly because you've got the, you know, right now the big late game carry and the gyrocopter, so I think you can kind of fall back on that and just be this like ultimate space creator. But I'm wondering where that puts FBZ. That to me, Sanking Hoodwink is just a solid lane. Sanking as an offlaner is, you know, one of the best right now. Okay, maybe maybe that changes some. Now we can see why they banned Slaughter Legion, because those are two heroes that both match up well against anti-mage, and Sanking as an offlaner matches up not so well against anti-mage, I would say.
Yeah, Sanking doesn't like anti-mage. Dude, they just keep buffing him as well, and it makes him so obnoxious to deal with right now. The fact that they added, like, because the point was, you would lane against anti-mage, you would use your spells, and then when you have no mana, then anti-mage doesn't hurt anymore, and then you would just play like that. But now they added a slow onto it, so if you're out of mana, you get slowed, and if he gets, like, a corrosion or something in his lane, especially in a favored lane for him against, like, Sanking, that's just so obnoxious. I actually would rather see the Sanking go mid at this point, and then just pick an offlaner that can play into anti-mage a little bit better. They need more lockdown, for sure. They currently only have Sanking stun and Hoodwink's Bushwhack, which is not the best.
And Jar.
Jar is not reliable.
It's not reliable, but...
Let's go! Yopaj, Ember Spirit, try to test it. I mean, I think this is just like, yes, AM's good against this Sanking, but we can't completely screw up our draft. The offlaners that were there that are usually good against AM were both banned, so I think they just decided, let's just put this game on Yopaj.
I didn't even know Ember was still in the block. Everyone banned this so often.
Polaris maybe didn't know, you know?
Look, we might have missed the Ember, but Mike and John might have already picked it up, and I want to know which one they favor more, and if they have faith in the Ember Yopaj still.
I think the Ember Yopaj is still really strong. You've got a pretty good lane to manage up against Lelouch. The AM's still going to be an issue, but I feel like FBZ is going to have a better game. You know, his Viper was pretty slow. Sand King, something he's comfy with, as he mentioned to me on Media Day. So he's very happy with that hero and should have a good game this time.
Yeah, I'm with John on that. I mean, offlane Viper for FBZ just seemed like a wasted pick to me last game. And, you know, this AM pos one, I don't know what to expect from it. Is AM actually a good hero? I don't know. We'll find out, but I think Boom's got this one.
Okay, and for you guys, do you think this is going to then go to a game number 3 with Boom picking up this game too?
I could see it going either way, 100%. I think, like, Anti-Mage, it's a great Anti-Mage game.
It's a sick AM game.
Yeah. But I mean, they can't do their triangle farming strat with him. You know, Anti-Mage needs that Battle Fury, so he needs his lane to go well. And Hoodwink and Sand King together do pose a threat.
Tide does farm Ancients, though.
Yeah, but I mean...
It's not your carry.
It's not your carry.
See, I thought you were going to be here and you're going to be like, yes, AM, I'm going to sell you on it.
I think Polaris had this game.
I like the loose Pango and Anti-Mage. Like, oh my god.
The only doubt in my mind is this Japoi Ember, where I'm just like, it's, you know, can you really bet against it?
I Lemmer.
Well, it feels like for the first time, it's the couch panel up against our casters. We're a little bit divided, but we are jumping into game number 2. So Mike and John, please take it away.
Yes, thank you very much. Now, we do get into a game number 2. John, Boom Esports, they've got their backs against the wall. And Polaris Esports, they are yet to be defeated in Tour 2 of the SCA DPC upper division. So very exciting times. You and I both know you don't doubt Japoi Ember. Like, we've gone over this many, many times, John. But how can you doubt Polaris Esports? You put that damn sticker down, John. No damn bias from you.
I mean, this is his specialty, right? It's coming back in. I feel like they had a right idea with Boom with the IO. We were seeing some good plays coming out from Jackie. We were seeing some good farm coming out with Jackie in that game 1. And the issue stands now. Matching farm up against Gajiro for an AM is a little bit of a harder process. You can see the all chat still going through there, still asking about showers. I don't know why. Kuya Marv Xavius is constantly asking if Japoi has taken a shower. And Japoi is saying he hasn't yet. He'll take a shower later. So there you go. And Nico hasn't showered as well. The brothers with no showers. All right. Love to see it from Polaris. Love to see it from Boom. Still high spirits. But, you know, Boom has to win this, Mike. If they don't, well, Polaris will stay undefeated. And suddenly the top 3 of Southeast Asia gets shaken up. The favorites of the region just get put down. And that's going to be a tough road to come back up on for this team.
Oh, it certainly will be, Jonathan. I mean, it's not something I think anyone was expecting going into the DPC for this tour. But my God, Boom. I mean, forfeit game Series 1 and now this. Currently 1 game behind Polaris Esports. Just very crazy times. We'll see what happens with these bounty runes. Tims and Mavis going to go for a bit of a fight towards the north. They will be able to secure it, I think, for Boom here, as Mavis is still going to try, but you had the very nice Pyro Strike there from FBZ. Yopaj, what's he done, Jonathan?
Sleight of fist to steal. Like, that was just so snappy response. Like, yeah, there you go. Xavius is saying, you're moving fast. Gives a tip over as well, because, damn, that reaction. Sleight of fist steal, like, you don't see that too often in that.
You certainly don't, John, but this is Japoi Ember. It's to be expected, I suppose. So a 3-for-1 trade of the bounties, and while we're here, mid lane, Yopaj against Lelouch. We've seen the Ember from Japoi, and we've seen Lelouch play this mid Pango many, many times. But John, who has the advantage in this 1v1 matchup?
I think it goes actually pretty even. You could see a power spike coming through for Lelouch a little bit earlier on if he uses his shield crash well. You do see First Blood coming out as they squash the bug of Mavis and even down bot. Some aggression onto Xavius as well.
Yeah, Xavier's going to be able to walk out with his life intact, but already much aggression coming out here from Boom Esports. I guess we should talk about that top lane, but never mind that for a sec, because now Skem's in trouble. This IO, he's going to overpower and try to run. Xavier should... Oh, never mind. Skem gets there in time. The Vul Assassins get the job done, and that is a very nice deny from our IO.
Yeah, that's a really great play. It's a bit strange to see the IO level 1 overcharge as well there, Mike. I think that's the issue. You don't have Tether back. So it's much more easy to catch him off, punish that mispositioning play. You are buying a lot of space out for Jackie, but this is still a fairly slow lane. He has good denies. Force is doing a good job of just holding back, threatening with a Shadow Demon setup. So it's not as smooth going for Jackie as you'd want, but he does get the creep pulled back. So a massive way for him to clear out with safety and not much force, or Xavius can really do as he does go for his own pull. And I think you're just going to be happy now. Force can try to annoy you. It's going to be tough to really secure every single deny in that wave, and Jackie should just be fine. Skem is doing a good job of just popping overcharge and right-clicking, so there is a lot of damage there, and Force is not very safe without the Shadow Demon here.
Certainly not. A lot of damage being taken here by this Tidehunter Force. Still going to try and TP away, and Scamp should not have the damage in time. Force him back towards that bottom tier 1 tower, and Xavius should be able to salve him up just fine. So the Tide will survive another day. In the top lane, of course, John, Natsumi on the anti-mage and Mavis on this Weaver against FBZ and Tims. You saw the first blood being very early onto Mavis. It's a very dangerous lane to go up against this Hoodwink and Sand King. Like the Bushwhack and the Burrow Strike, it's just so much burst damage. I feel like Boom Esports, they should really be able to dominate this top lane.
Yeah, they're doing a great job. They're going for the Caustic at level 2 as well for FBZ, holding out in this level 3. So it's hard for Natsumi to just walk up to the wave, try to harass the Sand King, because the Caustic pops and suddenly you lose a lot of HP. You don't tend to increase the counter spell in the laning phase, but that might be something Natsumi is going to have to consider as a safety measure to keep farming up. And a slower start for the AM here, a stalled out Battle Fury timing does mean that Gyro has a much stronger time towards mid-game. As you see the effect of that double stun, Mike.
And Natsumi really cops it just so quickly. Salve is there from Mavis, but you take a few too many of those and you are certainly dying here as Natsumi. Mid lane, a bit more aggression, or rather bot lane aggression coming out as Jackie. It's gone to Force, but the Tide is still tanky as Xavius. He does find himself a nice little cheeky courier snipe. I'm going to lose his own courier now. Polaris, though, not giving away any more kills than they already have. Just a 1-0 the way of Boom. Looking back at mid, John, it is a very even affair between Lelouch and Yopaj at the moment. And you've got to give props to Lelouch. I mean, Yopaj currently known as potentially the best mid in SEA, but Lelouch, he's keeping up very nicely. In fact, he's kind of pulling ahead at some point.
Yeah, he's doing a great job of just working out his wave clear, not giving any opportunity for Yopaj to get a big advantage. Yopaj does have a substantial EXP lead, though. So that could mean a nice pop into the 6, playing with Remnants, looking for a kill opportunity on mid or on the side lanes. I think that's something Polaris will have to stay in touch with. You know, they have to watch that spike on the Ember. We know Yopaj starts running around once he does have a Remnants up. And you have a lot of aggression that can come out, particularly in the top lane. So you do want to protect and measure yourself there for Lelouch. As the damage output of Yopaj is starting to skyrocket. Level 3 Sleight of Fist with the Blightstone does do a lot of work, so have to temper yourself back and kind of just take what you can, but no relief so far for Lelouch, so a bit of a tougher time there. They are emphasizing the jungle as you see Xavius build up some stacks, so he is just trying to build up for the AM down the line, but again, the time to clear that is fairly late considering the Battle Fury, unless you just want to hand that to Force.
On the other hand, Jackie having a bit of a better time here in this gyrocopter. It is to be expected. Like, the Tide can't slow him down too much. It's one of those things with Gyro. IO, you're probably going to be able to farm just very nicely. No issues here whatsoever. Wondering when these mid laners start moving around. Like, you've got these level 6s up now, but it seems like they're more than comfortable just continuing to stick around here and keep that farm going. It might not be the kind of lane where you leave at level 6 at the stage. Rather just stick around, get a bit more farm up and play a bit more greedily as these mid laners. This top lane, Mavis, gonna go down again. So he'll be the second death now for Polaris Esports as, well, Boom, they are able to pick up another Weaver kill.
They're building up on that start for FBZ, so he's off to a pretty good build-up. Does have his Bracer and Soul Ring up. Just going to go into that Blink Dagger next and try to be aggressive off the top of it. I think considering the movement of Polaris, they've done a good job of securing their triangle. So there is still that catch-up for Lelouch and for Force to kind of work themselves up. Boom not in position to really contest or even drop some forward wards, as we've seen Polaris, as we saw in Game 1. You know, they just prioritize their stacks for Natsumi for all their other cores, and I think as long as they secure that, they should still have a really good time. We are seeing Lelouch kind of line up to clear, so it looks like that initial farm will go to the Pango. Faster timing for, say, the Blink for the Yules is going to be big for Lelouch if he does want to go that build-up, and that should allow that early momentum to come through from Polaris if he's allowed to just keep farming like this.
Yeah. Top lane. Natsumi gonna be fine. I mean, they lock him down for a little bit, but ultimately he is able to blink away. They are doing a great job of just slowing him down with this anti-mage. Can be quite detrimental with that Battle Fury timing being slowed down here on the AM. Something you never want to see if you are Natsumi. Just kind of goes back to the pick for FBZ though, right? Like last game he had Viper, and we've seen FBZ Viper before. It's just one of those heroes that doesn't really do too much apart from dominate the lane. having a hero like Sanking to play on this offlane, just much more FBZ-like.
Allows him to play make, allows him to set up for the team, really set tempo as well. As, again, you know, you consider the old Boom lineup, kind of the same story. FBZ tended to be the guy who sets up plays. They are looking towards mid. Lelouch is out of mana.
Oh, it certainly is. Bushwhack is there from Tim's, and that's going to be the third kill now for Boom Esports. They clean up the mid lane of Polaris Esports, and that's going to be a rather easy one here for Boom. And so far, I mean, Polaris Esports are in a position where they just haven't picked up a kill yet. It's a very slow game from the Dire so far.
I don't think that's too bad for this lineup, considering that, you know, their hold on supports isn't that great. They're going to need follow through from the cores. Disruptions there, but you need a Rolling Thunder to maximize that. You've got Ravage. You've got good minus armor from the Weaver, but no real hero to do damage outside of the Pangolier as well. It just feels like Polaris isn't ready for these engagements. They just want to keep farming up. They want to play a bit greedy. And I think to still punish that in terms of stopping triangle stacks. But the aggression is racking up from Boom.
Lelouch, bit of a chase here onto Tim's mid lane. He'll pop the Scurry, but does land a stun eventually, and with the swashbuckle he'll have enough. They do get on the scoreboard here. Polaris is, well, Yapage is going to show back up in the mid lane, trying to chase down that Shadow Demon. We'll have the kill. That'll be the second here for the Ember. So a pretty even trade in the mid lane, but something Polaris desperately needed. Just a kill to get going, I think.
First Rolling Thunder committal out from Lelouch as well, and they do manage to get a decent kill to keep that escalation up. Lelouch is going for the defusal build-up as well, so no early blinks coming out. We might cut off their angles for initiation, as we're also not quite seeing Force built into his own blink just yet. We're going to have to rely on catching someone out, and that could make it tough to catch out Yopaj. I think that's a big issue down the line. Without early blinks, Yopaj is free to do what he wants.
They continue to try and take down Natsumi on this AM. Hell of a lot of damage, but not enough to finish the job. They'll be satisfied with just continuing to make this guy's life a living hell at this top lane. Again, Natsumi can have a bit of a slower build-up towards that Battle Fury, which is not going to feel very good whatsoever. In fact, now Yopaj is going to show up. They know the AM's around here somewhere on low HP, but instead they're going to be able to focus down onto Mavis. But can they get the kill? The Sakuchi going to allow him to get away in. Yopaj not going to check the right way. He'll go towards the south, not assuming the Sakuchi was towards the north. But instead, they are going to find Natsumi again. Chains do connect. Lelouch, he'll join in, but they've got the sharpshooter with the bushwhack. He still takes it as well. Yapaj, he does have the sleight of fist, and he will get the kill. Oh, you can't blink straight like that against the Hoodwink, I guess.
No, like, yeah, you call Tim's by a certain name, you know? Tim's the sniper, the Filipino sniper. Yeah. Hoodwink still has a shot there on her ult, so nice lineup there from Boom. They managed to slow down the AM. It's a very slow game for Natsumi. You know, the lane hasn't been the best lane coming out from him. He's also managed to keep FBZ in check, but that build-up into the Battle Fury is just a little bit more painful. He does have the Vanguard up, so he has a little bit more durability, some options to be aggressive if he wants to, but you are lagging behind in farm in comparison to the Gyro. There's just no way you keep up with Jackie taking control of the triangle, playing with a flank, playing with a rocket barrage with the IO on top. This Gyro is just going to hit those early spikes once more, as we saw in Game 1, and I like this build from Jackie. He is going for the Crystallis first. Again, reminiscent of when Boom had Palos on. So this is the same build-up we used to see Palos go, except he used to go max flak stats. So you have a little bit more aggression for Jackie here, but with an IO on top, just overcharge up with the attack speed, that Crystallis is going to do a lot of work in the middle of these early fights.
Oh, absolutely. They're already having such a better game than last game around Boom Esports.
Radiant's bottom tower.
Bot lane, Yapaj. Trying to defend this tier 1 bottom tower by himself, and it looks like he might just get away with this. The thing is, against this Ember, unless you have Lelouch around, you don't really have any lockdown for it. Like, you kind of rely on the Rolling Thunder or the Ravage to actually hold this Ember Spirit down long enough to get the kill. So if you're unwilling to commit practically both, it seems like Yapaj is just going to have a very free game. But towards the left side of the map, they've got Mavis again. FBZ and Tim's just this roaming duo, constantly finding aggression and constantly finding success.
Middle tower is under attack.
And that's what you want to see. In contrast to, again, Game 1, where you couldn't really play make off the Viper. FBZ can set up. He's got that early blink. He can work the map, and he can get the follow-through from Tinks. And if Tinks goes south, you've always got to relocate on the Gyrocopter, so you can always bring more numbers up. Polaris, though, contesting for the rune. Not going to fully commit.
Be all right. So I mean, they hold a 3k advantage, and it goes back to an earlier point. You haven't got Battle Fury and Natsumi. Flat Cannon's always going to be up on Jackie. So his farm is just going to continue to just outpace the anti-mage. And just look at this, he's already about 2.5k ahead. That's a bit of a concerning sign for Polaris. Like Natsumi, maybe once he has the Battle Fury, he can really start to move, but he's been forced to go for this Vanguard first. That's going to slow him down.
It has slowed him down. Like, this is stalling out his timing severely. It does allow him to take the jungle a bit safer. Not going to be burned down, but creeps as much. But it's still quite the diversion for the AM. I do appreciate that. There is that pressure to clear out what you can. And Natsumi's doing a good job of just working the map as best as he can, but he's bottom net worth in terms of force. So the AM still has a long way to go until it's that big menace, and we're still waiting for Lelouch to finish up his defusal as well. Perhaps once you have that inhibit for the Rolling Thunder, you can play a lot more. Although Lelouch...
Oh, it barely gets away. They even have the relocate coming in, but the Rolling Thunder going to connect right on time. Xavius, he's rotated. They want to try and force this fight. Lelouch is still quite low, but they've got Kemp controlled up, and now the Ravage comes through force, landing on everything as the Mana Void does get committed. Jackie, he's gone. Can they keep the fight going, though? FBZ, a great Burrow Strike onto 2, but can they finish Natsumi off? They can.
Oh, God.
Yopaj is in. Onto Xavius they go. It was a great start there for Polaris, but they end up losing so much in the end.
Ooh.
They might even find another John. Mavis. Oh, that's a great Burrow Strike. FBZ landing at mid Sakuchi. Pig out his hair, but it's not going to matter. They clean up.
Yeah, they managed to find everything. A bit unfortunate for that relocate. You know, right in the middle of the Rolling Thunder, and I believe FBZ also missed out on the burst strike with the epicenter. So they missed out a lot of the initial damage they needed to burst down Lelouch, giving Polaris an opening. And losing Jackie is painful, but losing the AM feels much more impactful. Yeah, you're just constantly stalling out that battle queue. You'll clear out the mid-tier 1. You'll be able to invade that jungle. They already have some good forward wards here from Boom. So now they can just keep this aggression going. With just this quick Chrysalis build-up, a Gyrocopter does a lot up front, and the BKB's not too far off here.
Certainly not, certainly not. Take the stacks away now from Polaris Esports, and this is the fear. Anytime you play something like an AM, and just look at his net worth right now, John. 5.2k on Natsumi. I mean, that is not a good time. He just can't do anything for his team. As they find Mavis another time, he'll get the time lapse and surely be able to get away. Yopaj, though, might go for a bit of a chase. But he might just settle for Xavius instead. They'll try to purge him up. He'll go for the chase, though. Chains do end up landing, and there's your sharpshooter from a mile away. That'll be another kill, surely, onto Xavius as Yopaj. We'll style on him just a little bit as he does make his exit.
Yeah, I'm loving this build-up in Yopaj. He realizes that damage isn't an issue with just the phase boots and Orb Corrosion. He's just rushing the BKB. He wants more presence. He wants to keep following through, wants to keep setting up for the team, while allowing Jackie to really be that win condition. So you can expect that Ember to still take point. Once that BKB is up, he's just constantly going to be on the aggressive. And they're going to go again. No?
Perhaps, but it is a tide. Force has Ravage up in a couple seconds, but they will force the rotations here from Polaris. Yopaj would be a great kill if they could afford to get it, but you don't want to waste that Ravage if you can avoid it here, so they won't bother trying to throw it onto the Ember. I suppose it is all about buying Natsumi more time, and well, he does finally have the Battle Fury. Problem is, he's just realized there are no stacks to be taken, and to make matters worse, the triangle is kind of sentried right now, so they have no camp spawning up. Now, Boom Esports, they've kind of crossed all the boxes here. It's not allowing any opening. As even as they try to approach the triangle, Boom is already waiting to initiate. Yeah, there is the 3-man smoke now, but immediately FBZ without hesitation onto the Shadow Demon. Ravage is going to connect Xavius. He somehow survives, but eventually does drop into Sandstorm, and now the Rolling Thunder again through the relocate. It's still just not enough, though. Jackie had the BKB. That means he's going to be fine. And it does mean Force is going to fall. So Boom still managed to find a 2-for-1. Polaris unable to find the better end of things in these trades.
Bottom tower is under attack.
Yep. They are trying, but just not at the right spot at the right time. FBZ manages to get a good jump in. Good turnaround from Lelouch with a roll, but they're not really able to capitalize. It feels like they lack follow-through control for, say, the Ravage and the Rolling Thunder. There's just no damage. Your big damage dealer in AM's not online. And you are feeling fairly durable on Boomsand. Like, IO plus Gyrocopter is so hard to burst. Ember can dodge out a lot of your spells. Sand King is your easiest go for, but once he does expend Burst Strike in a fight, he's kind of set. So he's fine with sacrificing his life at that point. And you can see Boom just constantly playing towards that mid, looking to just keep the aggression up. They do have some wards from Tim's ready to go, and they should be able to find more.
Yeah, they will. That combo again coming in clutch, so now FBZ is going to get punished. Not a good trade so far for Boom, but we'll see what they can salvage here as Yopaj is going quite forward. He'll pop his own BKB. In fact, they've got Natsumi with a great bushwhacker from Tim's. Poor old Force. He'll try to run, but he's just a watermelon right now, John.
Radiant's courier has been killed.
Oh, but they missed the chains. Yopaj
Radiant structures are
loses
fortified.
the control. It just won't matter. Cooldown was there, and even the creeps are blocking the tide. The Ember, currently 8-0 and 4, John. The boy is having a very good game.
I'm not entirely sure what the objective Natsumi was. He had Blink ready. He could have just backed off. He was looking to just burn and punish Yopaj. Just such a hard target to go for with BKB. Tim's might fall, but Yopaj is here.
Trying to chase down a Lush. Mavis having a very rough game on this Weaver. He's going to avoid the bushwhack, and they might just try to aim down Tim's, but he'll go for a bit of a run with the scurry. It just won't matter. Time lapse away as well. Mid chains should mean he does get away from Yopaj. Looks like he will be fine.
Lelouch?
Oh, Lelouch, he's a much bigger target, and FBZ, he's found him. Swash is available, but the chains are not landing. They lock him down, and Lelouch, he can't get away in time. Now, that's perfect. The Boom Esports, they are not letting their foot off the pedal here, John.
Oh, yeah. They're keeping that aggression. They're playing his 3, playing his 4, allowing Jackie to just keep farming. Like this Gyrocopter, 11k net worth, 4k above an AM. Not the best news for Polaris. Mind you, this is still early on in an AM game, right? So there is still a lot of room to grow for Natsumi. It's just the map is shrinking, and they can't really quite split push as much as they want. Jackie's going to have his Ags up soon. Much more stats. Side gunner presence is going to be pretty painful as well, despite the stuns. Next thing you know, he's going to have a Satanic on top, so he's going to be life-stealing through your disables. Natsumi just doing what he can down bot, maybe looking for that tier 1 tower. Not the biggest objective at this point. We'll give them a little bit more leeway on the bot jungle to get that farm going. But we need to see that though. It does feel like the AM needs to be online in the next 5 to 10 minutes with an additional item before you really feel comfy here for Polaris.
Boom Esports are not done yet. Mid lane, Mavis may get spotted. Tim's
Radiant's bottom tower
not going to
is
have the
under
detection
attack.
right now. Yopaj still just creating so much
Dire's middle
space
tower is under attack.
on this Ember, and just backing right back off. How's Natsumi doing though on this anti-mage? Like he's going for the Manta style build, fair enough, but just not anywhere near keeping up with Jackie yet. And knowing that Boom Esports, they will rush for the Roshan pit. Polaris, I think they have to fight this, and they're going to try, but it's a very hard ask.
Yeah, it's a hard approach angle. They do have Blink Ravage, so they've got to go fast. And Boom just back off in the right time anyway. Good scan as well to prevent that angle from Polaris, so gonna have to really reach in and time themselves well, and Boom go for their own smoke.
They do. They'd love a team fight right now outside of that Roshan pit. Xavius, Mavis, both the support duo. Not quite catching Mavis out, but they've got Xavius. And that might mean they could just go back into the Roshan pit. So you're missing that Shadow Demon. Boom.
Radiant's middle
They're
tower
going to have to
is
dress
under
that mid
attack.
tier 1 tower instead, it seems. But Jackie is making his way back to the pit, so they'll let the Ember take care of it. Instead, back into the Roshan they go. Polaris, this time around, they will not try smoking. It seems like they've accepted the fact that the Roshan is not going to go their way. I suppose you'd rather just let the Aegis go the way of Boom than trying to force a fight and getting fully team wiped.
Yep. Just cut your losses, knowing that Boom covered your angles pretty well in that approach. Again, that great scan, knowing that the smoke play was coming true. And with the Aegis up on Jack, he can afford to be a lot more aggressive now with relocates as well. So it's back to that playstyle. Play as 3, separate the IO gyro, keep the farm up, and just look for pickoffs on your trio here on Boom. They aren't quite in that position to find thing. There is a smoke on Polaris once more with
Dire's
Force.
top tower is
They
under
still have that
attack.
Ravage, but we haven't seen the lineup that they want to really get max value from it.
Again, aggression is there. Xavius has no choice in the matter. He does get caught out very easily. Another nice kill here for the Ember. That'll be the 9th of the game here for Yopaj. And it's onto the top tier 3 tower. I mean, Aegis up.
Radiant's bottom
So much
tower
damage
is
here
under
on Jackie with Schem around on that overpower. Polaris Esports, they're the ones forced to defend this. And they know Natsumi is not ready, or anywhere near it for that matter.
Dire's
So
top
Lelouch will
tower
try
is
his
under
best
attack.
to slow down this push attempt with the swashbuckle. And there is some creeps
Dire's
going on here
middle
from
tower
Mavis.
is under attack.
That is going to
Dire
force Boom
are
Esports
scanning.
back. But you can tell Boomer are very, very looking forward to just going high ground ASAP. They're not looking to drag this game out whatsoever.
Yeah, they know they want to apply that pressure before Natsumi's online. They can always send Yopaj back to deal with the
Dire's
side lanes.
middle tower
Looks like they
has
might
fallen.
want to try to hunt down Mavis now.
Sakuchi TP away is going to be fine. FBZ couldn't land the Burrow Strike. It was blind. A bit of a hard one to land. The Esports will continue holding on to this 7k net worth lead. How much time do you think they need, John, Polaris Esports, before they feel like this AM can do something?
I mean, the Manta timing's going to be nice, but it does feel like you need a Scotty to really have that durability, to have that presence for the AM to join these fights. And again, that's going to be maybe in the next 5 to 10 minutes. So you still have to stall out for quite a fair bit. But the good news is, that should line up with, say, Ag's timing for Force, which will allow you to D-push quite nicely, although Force is being chased down here.
There he is, Jonathan. Force. He's caught out here by Japoi. Trying to make his way out, but there's no way. Make that 10 for the Ember. Still no death here for Yopaj, and it goes back to the draft, right? Again, you don't have the lockdown for this guy.
Natsumi?
And relocate? Top lane, they've got Natsumi. Oh boy. Trying to split push, but he is caught by FPZ.
And the Hoodwink just
Radiant
answers your
are
AM problem. Just get the break off and Sharpshooter, magic damage does rest, and Xavius.
FPZ. Spidey senses were tingling there from Boom Esports. They scan out the tree line, they'll find another support. And again, I think they want to try and force high ground and perhaps even force buybacks here. The Polaris, I don't know if they can really afford to expend the buybacks.
They're going to have to respawn on the Tide. I think that's the big one they need. AM is not going to be necessary too much in these fights, although again, there is a damage issue from Polaris' lineup right now. They can't
Dire's
point
top
E through
tower is under
Jackie
attack.
fast enough. They could try to clear Scam out first, but there are 2 lives up in Jackie. So tier 3 is set to fall. Rax
Dire's
opened up as
top
well.
barracks are under
They've got to
attack.
find an angle with Ravage and the Rolling Thunder. They need to stop this because it makes it so much tougher for the AM to find room to farm.
All heroes are up. They're just chipping away at Jackie, but again, you've always got Skemrat behind him, and he's got the Aegis anyway. So it seems like they're going to have to commit if they expect this Rax to survive another day, and it doesn't seem like they are. Jackie will just keep going. Eventually, they'll get the top Rax, no problem. There it goes. No real contest here from Polaris. So we'll have to wait for the next attempt at high ground, I guess, and hope that mistakes are made from Boom. I've got to tell you, John, it doesn't seem like they're coming. As you see Yopaj again, he's onto Natsumi. He wants that AM, but he's not going to be able to catch him this time. Natsumi will blink right out of there. Though he is still being pincered in.
Dire's bottom tower
Jackie and
is
Skem from
under
the other way
attack.
around are going to force him to the tree line instead, and he might have to TP the old-fashioned way. Problem is, he has no TP available right now on that anti-mage.
Dire's bottom
Got a little bit
tower
more time
has
there. He
fallen.
at least has Force around to help cop the gank, and the rest of Boom are shifting gears after taking that tier 1. Just keeping the top and mid lanes kind of shoved in as best as they can to prevent any sort of room coming out from Polaris to clear out. Jackie even takes over the triangle just for a bit, clearing out even more sources of
Dire
income.
are scanning.
Polaris do have this nice spike, as Mavis does have the Ags up on his Weaver, so there is a time-lapse save that can come in, especially with the disruption to cut off the fights here. Xavier's still saving up for his own Ags, and that's when the Shadow Demon feels really, really strong with the Ags plus Ag Shard. Just need to hit that timing. I think once you have that additional save, additional set of control coming through for Polaris, you have a few more angles to take. It does feel like we need to see Natsumi show up in these fights though, Mike. right? Like, he's got the Manta, he's going for BKB. Not something AMs really love to build, but he understands that it's necessary to join these fights.
Dire's middle tower is under
Oh, it is
attack.
absolutely necessary. And so is Lelouch popping this Rolling Thunder and just going after that creep wave top lane. I mean, this is all he can do, but they even glyph it up. They won't even let him take the creep wave down. And boom, again, not allowing a way back into this game here from Polaris as they'll hold on to that 15k net worth lead. Do you feel like Boom just play it safe here, John? Do they wait for the next Roshan before they try again on that high ground?
Yeah, I reckon they do. There's no reason to risk anything here. They understand that Polaris is a team that can also come back. They respect the fact that Polaris is a very strong team, as we saw Polaris respect Boom as well in Game 1, where they were also waiting for ages. So I think you understand that your opponent's strong, you don't want to give an opening. One small kill on, say, Yopaj on Jackie could offset and start giving Polaris some much-needed gold, especially on Natsumi. So you just want to, play it safe. This is Game 2, where you're one game down. Boom does not want to risk just going 0-2 here, especially after your first series kind of, went south with a power line strat coming through. And they just got to play it safe. They're confident in their scaling as well. Like, it's not like you're dealing with Dusa towards late game for the Gyrocopter. AM into late game is a little bit back and forth. There's some ways to itemize there. Like, the Bissell could be really nice. Ags is one way to also kind of break up these team fights. But it's not like the Dusa where she's just going to really stay alive in the middle, stand there, use a big spell, and just hit away. And the Gyrocopter feels unsafe with, say, the Scadia. AM has to be in your face, and that gives Boom an opportunity to punish the AM jumping up to the Gyrocopter, jumping up to the AM, jumping up to the Ember. Although Yopaj.
In again, he saw Savius right into the tier 3 tower. He could not give a crap. He just wants the kills. Time-lapse though, may have saved Savius this time around, but Japoy, he'll go all the way for it. Maybe they can punish though with a great Ravage out from Force. They can finally get the first kill on this Ember, but no! Lelouch got stuck. He got stuck, Jonathan. Oh, that'll be your Pengo gone. How does he just get stuck like that?
It happens for those weird, craggy walls we have, Mike, on the base. Sometimes you just get caught in the wrong spot, as we've seen before. I believe you love to call it the Australian burnout, so not quite the best time for Polaris to experiment with a burnouts here in the Outback, Mike, but the high ground opens up for Boom from back of those kills. No Ravage, no defense threat. And the best you can do now for Natsumi is just farm, but you're going to surrender another set of racks. You can't get Megas yet. But fortunately, there is a tier 2 defending here for Polaris, so it's not the end of the world, but you can just see how confident Yopaj is. Just diving in onto the high ground, no backup, forces out 2 uses of the Demonic Purge as well to try to slow him down. Not enough to stop the Ember.
Yeah, I mean, nothing stopped him so far, Chana. It's 11-0-7. Just doing whatever the hell he wants this game number 2. Boom, this is much more the team we remember. They jump in again. Who have they got? That'll be a Shadow Demon Xavius. Having a very rough game. Just could not survive the onslaught that is coming. No buyback either. Enemy Polaris, they've got to find a way to defend this. This is the final lane of Barracks. It's into Megas after this. Chains out. Lelouch. He's been trying, but he's been shut down this game as well. But Jackie, he's just such a powerhouse now, this Gyrocopter. They'll get the Megas up with no contest. Do you want to go for T4 towers? Is there anything to stop them?
Rolling Thunder is up, Ravage not quite. And I think for Boom, it's just a matter of resetting. Roshan is up if they want to go back for that objective first. But that could give an angle for Polaris to, again, play with Ravage, play with Rolling Thunder. Mega Creeps is a hard prospect for the side of Polaris right now. You don't have the Ags up in force. You have some damage for the Lelouch. You can try clearing out for the AM, but the supports don't really do too much to the waves. It does look like Boom will just go for the safe play, but again, could be an opening for Polaris.
All in, Tims. Get caught here by Lelouch, though. Nice force staff away back into the pit, and they do relocate him out. They can't even find the hoodwink. And without that Rolling Thunder, they certainly can't hope for this Roshan fight as Japoy. He's in again. He could not give a crap about anything Polaris have to do with him. So he'll just move in with the BKB and just keep it going on to Xavius. In the meantime, they even call Lelouch, still Natsumi, trying to chase the Ember, but they can't catch him. Skems kept him alive, and in goes the fight once again for Boom. They wish to reinitiate, but can they get it done? You bet your ass they can, John. GG's called FBZ. He got Xavius, and they've seen enough. What's the rule, Jonathan? What's the rule?
Yep, never doubt the Yopaj Ember. You know, Boom builds off of that foundation really well. Lelouch, he didn't have the toughest lane, but it did build up for Yopaj as that laning phase went on. We saw our Ember really build up, and it's back to that same story. When you look at Boom's draft from game 1, we saw how much farm Jackie was getting with Skem. The same thing happened here in game 2, Mike. They still played around with relocate aggression fairly well. And this time you had this nice offlane for FBZ. He had a way of playmaking. He had a way of being that foundation for Boom. For Polaris, it did feel like they had an idea. You know, they went for the AM. They wanted to try scaling into a mid-game spike, but the Battle Fury came out a bit too slow. FBZ managed to slow down Natsumi's lane a lot more. And I think that's the risk they run. It was a well-put fight. You know, they were getting some aggression out. They did have good team fight control. The follow-through wasn't there. There was just no burst damage on their end this time to follow through with a Ravage and Rolling Thunder. And Natsumi just couldn't join in to give that damage for the team.
Yeah, I guess, we've learned a couple things today, John. Cuckoo can't pick Viper, or rather, Cuckoo can't pick Venomancer. FBZ can't take Viper. That's the rules we've learned. None of these poison heroes anymore for the offlane. So we are going to head off to a very short break, and right after that break, we'll be back with our lovely panel to discuss what happened in game number 2.